Barakati Hawa, Barakati Hawa Shai, Barakati Hawa, Barakati Hawa Shai, Barakati Hawa, Barakati Hawa Shai, Ba'ashim Rachak Wadash. I want to start off by giving double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught me this word, and shalom to the elect. That's what these lessons are for. Okay. Now this lesson here is inspired by a YouTube documentary I was watching called Our Planet. Okay, and I believe the guy's name that's illustrating it or narrating it, I should say, is a man by the name of Robert Edinburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I know his last name is Edinburgh. First name could be Matthew, so on and so forth. Anyway, if you check out the documentary, you'd find out about this guy. You know that he's a well-traveled Edomite. That since his youth, he traveled the world. Going through and to and fro. Searching out things and wildlife and so on and so forth. Now he's up in age. He's in his 90s, and he's making statements. Oh, if we don't do this to our planet, that it will be destroyed, and wildlife is dwindling down, and forests are they're being deforestation. He's making statements like that, but the people that are doing it are not of the nation of Israel. Okay, the people that are behind that are these Edomites, these so-called white people, man. Okay, and that's 100% factual. All right. Anyhow, he also went into Chernobyl, which, if you don't know Chernobyl, I'll read a little bit about Chernobyl, and I'm going to go into a few scriptures here, Lord will, for the edification of the elect. All right. We in Wikipedia, it says here, Chernobyl. The Chernobyl disaster was a nuclear accident that occurred on Saturday, April 26, 1986, at the number 4 reactor in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant near the city of Pripyat in the north of the Ukrainian SSR. It says it was considered the worst nuclear disaster in history, both in terms of cost and casualties, and is one of the only 2 nuclear energy accidents rated at 7, the maximum severity, on the International Nuclear Event Scale. The other being the 2011 Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster in Japan. The initial emergency response, together with later decontamination of the environment, ultimately involved more than 500,000 personnel and cost an estimated 18 billion Soviet rubles, roughly US $68 billion in 2019, adjusted for inflation. All right, which that's another way America is going down monetarily. The monetary system is in the tanker. The monetary system is dwindling, and it's circling the drain. But that was a little history on what the Chernobyl disaster was. I believe there's even I think it's an HBO series on it, Chernobyl, and it goes into it. Now this was one nuclear reactor that went off, and the whole city of Pripyat is uninhabited by man to this day. Now, when you look it up, you have a lot of animals that have come back there, a lot of greenery that have come back there, but scientists are saying that they're mutants and whatnot. It's mutations from the reactor, nuclear, mutations and whatnot. If you check the organisms and the DNA of these plants and these animals, you can see that it's been highly mutated from an animal in a regular environment. All right. Well, I tell you what, man. Now, America, is gonna be hit with nuclear missiles, man, and it's gonna be an overkill. The scriptures speak about 200,000. So we know that this place is going to be completely obliterated, and it's not going to stand as Chernobyl still stands today. Like Chernobyl, over there in this very day, you have buildings that are still standing. Now the Lord said that there shall not be one stone that shall be left upon another, which that was really going into 70 AD. But over here in America, this place is going to be completely obliterated, man. All right. This is let me go to the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter and the 11th verse, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Revelation 18 and 11. Salak, is it 18? 8. Pardon me. Bear with me for one moment. Okay, so Revelation 8 and 11, and it says, and the name of the star is called Wormwood. Now, that star is really talking about a nuclear missile. All right? Like when the scriptures say, and the stars shall fall from heaven, that's really talking about the nuclear destruction. Okay? Because it's going to look like stars that are falling from heaven, man, because there are going to be these multiple warheads, that are going to be piercing through the upper atmospheres and coming down with great destruction upon America. Okay? It says, and the name of the star is called Wormwood. Now, when you look up that word wormwood, all right, you look it up in the Greek, it's from the Strong's G893. Let me see what it says here. 894.
894.
894. Absinthion. Okay. And it says, wormwood, the name of a star which fell into the waters and made them bitter. Okay. Now, if a man is unlearned, you say, oh, this made the waters bitter. What does that mean? Well, now when you go back into the book of Exodus, in the Old Testament, that's why the scriptures speak about precept being upon precept. You go back into the book of Exodus, what's that, the 15th chapter? Pardon me, just bear with me for a minute. Bear with me one moment. Exodus 15 and 23. It says here, and when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Marah. All right, now it's spiritual, that word Marah. Now let's go into it real quick. We're going to go into the word Marah, and we're going to go into the word bitter. All right. Or I should say, Marah is from the Hebrew, and it means bitter. It's spiritual. When you say the word America, you could actually, replace mirror and put Marah there, and it will still mean the same thing, because the word America means bitter. Okay? And it's spiritual. It goes right back to the Hebrew word Marah, that means bitter, because this place has been bitter to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We know the beginnings of America, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. Native Americans were slaughtered. You watch that movie, a lot of different movies, Trail of Tears. You watch what's this movie, Dancing with Wolves. And these different westerns and whatnot, you can see how the so-called white race, which are the Edomites, were doing the tribe of Gad. You read about Cinco de Mayo. You read about different revolutions that happened over here in America, and it was because of Esau's wicked ways, man. All right. So this place has been nothing but bitter to the nation of Israel. All right. Also, going into something I was watching here on I forget what channel it was. It was dealing with the borders and how you have a lot of Issacharites, which is the Issacharites are the Mexicans. They're trying to get over here into America and whatnot, and a lot of them are dying in the desert. You know, their families, you know, they haven't seen them in a long time, and it ends up that it comes out that this person has died, man. You know, in the desert, seeking some kind of salvation here in America. But see, America is not for the salvation of our people. America is for the destruction of our people, man. It was a prison sentence that the Heavenly Father set up for us to go into, and eventually we will be saved. You notice the tapestry I have in the background here. That's going to be the salvation. The scriptures speak about the house of the thief. Okay, Israel is a woman. Okay, and of course the vehicles of salvation. Okay, so-called UFOs, the chariots, man. So this place has been bitter, but getting back to it, man, it says the spring was bitter, Salakia, the spring was bitter water, which was 3 days travel from the crossing place of the Red Sea in the peninsula of Sinai, which, by the way, we actually crossed through the Gulf of Suez when you go into it, man. You know, Apostle Tahal brought that out years ago, and it's spiritual how you had a tanker ship that actually got, you know, stuck in the Gulf of Suez. I'm not sure if they got it out, but I know it was costing billions of dollars a day, because that was a trade route. Okay, tankers would, you know, go through the Gulf of Suez and whatnot. Okay, and you know, that tanker was causing them millions or billions of dollars a day. You know, and backed up, you know, tankers, man. So now from there, let's go to this word bitter. Now it's from the Hebrew word. If I'm not mistaken, let me find it down here. Which really means that the waters were contaminated. All right. Bear with me for one moment, because when it says the waters were bitter, you know, it means that they were contaminated. All right. Now, if you're into whether it's hiking or, you know, camping, if you were a Boy Scout, you'd find out that, you know, there are, you know, natural ways, you know, to decontaminate water. And you could also use, to decontaminate water, you could use cilantro. The molecular structures of the walls of the cilantro, they could you know, suck up and absorb a lot of the contaminations, like hard metals like nickel and stuff like that, in waters, man. And that's been scientifically proven. So it reads on, it says, and the people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai showed him a tree, which the tree, when you look it up, is really a herb. Okay? It's from the Hebrew word itazah, and it says tree, wood, timber, you know, stock, plant, plank, stick, gallow, tree, wood, and you go into it, man, and what you really find out, that it was a herb, okay, and whatnot, that he cast into those waters, and the waters became sweet. In other words, they became drinkable. So it says here, and he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree, which when he had cast it into the waters were made sweet. Uh, there he made for them a statute and an ordinance that there he proved them, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought unto Egypt, for I am the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai that healeth thee. Okay? And it's spiritual. We just, the Feast of Unleavened Bread was finished last night at sundown, and we are gonna be in the Sabbath day. It was a holy convocation, the last day, and the next day would be the Sabbath day. Okay, so we're still in the holy convocation, all right, and then the Sabbath also came in, and this evening at sundown we'll be out of the Sabbath. All right, so it's all spiritual. Everything is spiritual, man. Okay, so from here, let's go back. I don't think I finished Revelation 8 and 11. It says, and the name of the star is called Wormwood. All right. Let's get that word wormwood. If I'm not mistaken here. It's talking about contamination. All right. Because the nuclear disaster, is going to cause contamination. These nuclear destruction is going to cause a lot of contamination. It says, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. In other words, they were contaminated. You ever seen a person that drank contaminated water? They could drop dead, man. Okay. So from here, we're going to go into the book of Isaiah. Isaiah, the 13th chapter. And we're going to scroll down to the last few verses, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right here, Isaiah 13, and I know we could start, which this whole chapter is good, but we could start at let's start at 13 and 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Now the modern day Medes are talking about the Russians, because they're dwelling in the land of the Medes. Okay, it says, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So you're not going to be able to pay your way out of this destruction. It says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. Those bows are talking about the silos, and a bow and an arrow goes together. The arrow is the nuclear missile. So they're going to shoot those nuclear missiles out of the silo, which is the bow, and the nuclear missile being the arrow, and they're going to destroy this place, man. It says, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. So they're going to be concerned about the statistics, how many children are here in America, how many children were born this year, so on and so forth. No, they're not. Okay? They're going to be merciless, man, because the Spirit of the Lord is going to be upon them to do so. It says, their eyes shall not spare children. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, that's talking about a modern day America, because America is Babylon. It says, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. The Chaldees were the ancient magi's and warlocks of ancient Babylon. Now it's talking about the elites of this society. It says, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So if this is the beauty of their excellency, you can see that they're a completely corrupt nation of people. And that's talking about the higher-ups of the Edomite nation, you so-called white people, man. Your elites, the Council of 13, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Vanderbilts, the Schiffs, and so on and so forth. It says, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. It was burned with fire. And guess what? America is no different. America is going to be burned with fire. Okay? It says, it shall never be inhabited. So it's not going to be like Chernobyl, where Chernobyl is inhabited, to the capacity where a lot of animals are there and a lot of wildlife. The scriptures are going to tell you who's going to be here in this place, man. All right? It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. So people are not gonna, let's go over there and set up shop and have a family, so on and so forth, man. Because first of all, this whole place is gonna be contaminated, man. All right. It says, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. It's talking about the so-called Arabs. Here it is over here in America. These Arabs that come from Yemen or whatever country, Middle Eastern country they come from, and they'll set up shop. They'll have these stores, selling you these convenience stores and gas stations and so on and so forth. Here it is, the so-called Negro, Latino, or Native, been here for the longest and can't acquire that because that's all done by design. But anyway, we read on, it says, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. Yeah, in other words, where these houses used to be, they're gonna be completely destroyed, man. And you're gonna have creatures, wild creatures there. Like you go to Scarsdale, or you go up to some, some place in the Hamptons or whatnot, where you have these mansions and whatnot. And I'm just talking about New York. You got Beverly Hills in California, so on and so forth, and many different, plush places in Jersey and, all throughout the 50 states. They're very like cul-de-sacs and these pleasant palaces that the scriptures speak about. That's all gonna be wiped out, man, by nuclear destruction. It says, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses. So where your houses used to once be, that's where these beasts are gonna dwell, man. It says, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So that is the end of America, man. The Most High is gonna take this place out, okay? And these wild desert creatures, man, are gonna dwell where you people once dwelt, man. And through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, this is going to be the weapon of choice that the Lord uses to take this place out. It tells you in Isaiah, behold, he created the smith. This is the instrument the Lord is going to use to destroy this place, man. Okay? Hey, so Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying. Give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Lord will, I'll be back with another one. Shalom, Maki.